Hello everyone. So I am Rahul Bajaj, and from now on I will be hosting the community demos unless Greg comes back and he wants to do it again. So a little about myself. I work from India. I have been a part of Foreman community for about a year and a half, and I run the local Foreman Pune meetup chapters. Uh, for starters, as a community lead, I am looking forward on working on the look and feel of the Foreman documentation and working towards creating a first-time user's guide, like a better one. And so, if you're interested, please ping me on that. And I would like to also mention that I really like talking to new people. So, if you have any concerns about the Foreman community, please come forward and ping me. So we start with today's Foreman community demo number 58, and we have too much in our agenda today. So we have task redesign by Teresa. Then we have global parameters with types by Kavita. We have compute profiles in Hammer CLI by Shira and uptime information by Merrick. Then we have VMware filtering by cluster by Andre Ezer, and then we have in the end we have overriding Ansible variables, and we have GraphQL QL console by Andre Prasad. So, not taking a lot of time, I would like to start with our first talk, and that is global parameters with types by Kavita. So, Kavita, over to you.
So, hello guys. So today I'm going to demonstrate on the global parameters with the types. It is very long awaited features. So let me share my screen to show you the demo. Hopefully my screen will be visible. So here you can see the global parameter list where we have added this new field type, and now user will be able to see the types for the each parameter. So I'll just show you the create parameter thing. So here is the parameter type, which is similar types as the smart class parameters and the smart variables. So let me show the quick. So if I choose the integer type and if I just give the random invalid value, then it just trigger the validation part and it will show you the invalid value here. So now you can just create the smart parameter global parameters as per the types, and you can play around it. So I'll just show you the what are the other places where we have added the changes. So under the parameters also you can see the types field here, and if you want to override any parameters, then you can just have here. Here also I'll show the validation thing. So it says the value is invalid. So if I say, then it will just save the value. And if you can see the YAML file, you will see the all the global parameters that I created under this. So all the behavior is same like smart variables and the smart parameters, but now the global parameters also have the types. So yeah, this is a small feature. Thank
Awesome,
you. Yeah.
awesome. I think that was very helpful, and thanks for working on it, Kavita. So next in line we have compute profiles in Hammer CLI by Shira. So over to Shira.
Hi everyone. So today I'm gonna show you how we can manage compute profiles through Hammer CLI. So first I want to have a quick reminder about how we can create compute profile from the web UI. So when you create a compute profile, you have two steps you need to do basically. The first step is just to create the name of the compute profile. And the second step is to choose the compute resource and then set the values to that specific compute resource. It's taking some time, so be patient, please. Okay, it's taking a lot of time. I don't know why, but okay, right now. So here I can choose add a new interface. I can have multiple interface. I can have multiple volumes. Let me just show you. And that's it. And the same I want to do in HAMR CLI. So let me show you the help first. As you can see, we have multiple subcommands: create, delete, info list, update, and values. The create, the delete, and update are reference to the name of the compute profile. But if I want to choose like a specific compute resource and set the values to that specific compute resource, I will use the values subcommand. So let me show you how it's done. So first of all, I want to create the compute profile name. I will do it like that. HAMR compute create and just give a name. And the compute profile was created. And the second thing I want to do is just set the values to a specific compute resource. So let me show you the help for that. I have values. And here you can see that I have more subcommands in the values. I can create the values, I can update them, and I also can create separately interface or volume and then update them and remove them. Let's try to create together the set of values. So let me show you the help about that. Okay, this is pretty long help message, and let me guide you through it. So we have like the general options for creating this set of values. We need to specify the compute profile, and we need to specify the compute resource, and we have location and organization, and we have additional three options, which is the volume, the interface, and the compute attributes. These three options have different attributes to each compute resource. So if I scroll down a bit, I can show you the provider specific options for each volume, interface, and compute attributes. Let's scroll down to the overview part because this is the compute resource I have. And we can see here the attributes for each of the options. So, okay, we are ready now to create a compute profile. HAMR compute profile, values, create, and then I need to specify the compute profile, which is demo 1. And I need to specify the compute resource, which is Ovid. And then I'm able to specify all the options I want, for example, interface, and I can set the interface name to ETH0, and I can have multiple interfaces. So if I want to specify another interface, I can just add -- interface and add different attributes for that. ETH1, and I can specify the volume, which is, for example, 5 GB. And eventually I can specify the compute attributes. Let's scroll a bit so I can see the options we have. So compute attributes, let's add, for example, memory. And that's it. This is the compute profile created right now. It's taking a few minutes, a few seconds. Just let me wait for that, and I will show it in the web UI that it was created. Yeah. So the compute profile attributes are set right now, and we can see it in the compute profiles, in the over section. Yeah, and we can see the two interfaces we created and the volume. And that's it.
Great. That's a lot of work, I guess. Thank you so much, Shira, for sharing this wonderful work with us. So till now we don't have any questions, but we are looking for some. So next in line is Merrick, who will update us with the uptime information. So over to you, Merrick.
All right, thank you, Rahul. So today I'm going to show something quite small, but still I would say useful. So we added one more information to this host detail page, which is here in the properties table called uptime. So in here you can see that this host is up for 19 minutes. And that would be it, but I would like to also share with more information like how this works, because it's not that simple like you would expect. So this is based on the information that we get from facts. As you know, we gather facts that are uploaded by Puppet Agent, or also other sources, because we have plugins for Salt, Chef, Ansible. And also we can gather information from Subscription Manager. So this value is based on the uptime fact provided by any of these factors. And it's important to know that this may be also a bit misleading if your configuration agent stops reporting. Basically, when your host gets out of sync, which you would see here in this configuration property, here you could have the information out of sync. That basically means that you didn't get the report for a longer interval that is set in your settings, by default 30 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And then you would know that this information can be also kind of out of sync or out of date. Also, this doesn't change during that interval. This is really just the value that we know from facts. And we are looking to the facts table to get this information. If you are one of those users who combine facts from multiple sources, we just look at all of these sources. So the one that is that we have in the order hard-coded in the code base wins. So I don't recall that right now from top of my head, but I think Ansible is first, then we defer to Puppet, then we go to Salt and Chef. I think it goes like that. And in fact, this information here, it's nice to see it in UI, but also it might be useful for you in API. So if I go quickly to the API response for host details, you would actually see how we store that, which is in form of seconds. This is how we get the information from all the factors. So we can now check the amount of seconds the host is up. And that's pretty much it.
Cool. That's awesome. I didn't know Uptime could tell me so much about different things about the host. So yeah, thanks, Merrick. Next, we have Onrij Azar, who will enlighten us about VMware filtering by cluster. So over to you, Onrij.
Thank you, Rahul. Okay, I got some small feature in VMware provisioning. When we provisioning new host on VMware, we first need to select cluster, and the cluster is then filtering the resources like network and storage. But till now, we haven't had the information in UI, which resources are connected to the selected cluster, and it could lead to the errors by resources not available to provision on. So here is how it is. It was looking before my change. We can see all the storages available even without the cluster selected. And even after selecting the cluster, we can still see all the resources. And if we are going to the interfaces, we can see that we have all the networks available, visible. And in here is after the change, we can see that we have the information that the selection of storage is not possible before cluster is selected. So, and there is a bit of a problem with the networks because it's going to be a bit different in the future. So we didn't want it to tap on too much. So there are all of them without cluster. But after selecting the cluster, the resources are loaded. The storages are loaded only after the cluster selection, so it should be even faster. Now we can see the loaded resources, and we can see that they are filtered by the cluster, which the resources available for that cluster. And the networks are filtered as well. I got another video where it's more visible because the networks available for that cluster were almost all, but for this one, just few of them. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for me. It's small change, but I hope it will fasten up the creation of host and it will help some guys.
Awesome. I think, Andre, this will help a lot of users. This feature will help a lot of users, and they won't. They will have a definite way of doing things now. So that is really awesome. Next, we have Andre Prazak presenting about overriding Ansible variables, and also he will be talking about GraphIQ console. So over to you, Andre.
Thank you. And you should be able to see my screen with Ansible variables. So this is just a small improvement to the already existing Ansible variables. As you can see, I've already imported a couple of them from my proxy. And if I go into the details of one of the variables, you can see that there is the override checkbox. Basically, at this stage, Foreman will not use this variable and will not set any values for it unless it's checked as override. At this point, you can add a default value, you can add matchers, you can hide it or not. Basically, all you have to do is to set the variable to be overridden, and then you can specify all the values that you want. And that's basically all for the variables. I'll go straight ahead and move to the console for GraphQL. So recently, there has been a number of pull requests that has been merged for our GraphQL API, mostly thanks to Timo, who's been leading the effort in this area. But there are also other community members who picked up on that and followed with additional PRs, adding more and more queries. So at this point, our GraphQL API is still very early stage, and there are many things that are still missing. For example, right now we don't have any mutations, but we do have queries. So there is a possibility to actually retrieve some information from Foreman using GraphQL. And the part that I will be demoing right now is mainly useful for developers. So for testing and developing with GraphQL, you want to make sure that your queries work, and how to do that. Well, what I added is GraphQL console that you can use. I added this toolbox item in the main menu. Under that, you have the GraphQL console, and if you go to the console, you will get to this screen, and here you have by default help, what you can do, and some keyboard shortcuts. And I have already prepared the models query that should retrieve the hardware models in my Foreman. So let's do that. And as you can see, I have just 2 hardware models. One is Raspberry, and the second one is standard PC. I got back also some pagination info, so that will be useful as well. And if I want to do, for example, search, I have another query prepared here. So I will be searching for name. Here down here, I specify the variables for the query. So let me do the search, and as you can see, I found that there is actually one item that is matching my search. And that is pretty much it.
Interesting. Awesome. This talk was really fun. So let us see if we have any questions. And so far, we don't have any questions, but we will come back to you, Andre, if we have any questions. So next we have Teresa, who will be talking about the task redesign. So over to you, Teresa.
Hi, everyone. All right, so I hope you all can see my screen that I'm sharing. What you're looking at is the current implementation of tasks in Foreman. It looks nice, but it's not quite usable, as it's really hard to know when the user comes here, what should I do, what worked, what hasn't worked, what can be done. So basically, easy way to take action and see what's wrong, what's running, and where I should take action. So we've done some work on the redesign. We came up with an idea of a dashboard where the user can see what tasks are running, what tasks are paused, what is stopped, and what is scheduled. You can see that as a total numbers. And we show that with the focus on the last 24 hours. So right now you're seeing all of the tasks available in the last 24 hours. And here they are displayed in the table view with the result, and you can take quick actions like delete, cancel, depending on what tasks it is. We're looking at 24 hours, but we can change that into 12 hours or a week, and that works as a filter. So if I'm wondering what happened to my tasks over 12 hours, I click on 12 hours, and I can see that it changed here. In running, I can see that, for example, I have 2 tasks running over last 12 hours. And if I would want it, I can sort and filter by that as well, and the results will show accordingly in the table below. So I'm looking at 12-hour period in the running right here, in the pause area right here, and as well that filter applied to stop tasks with the error warning success state. You can see the 4 filters, which is a filterable dashboard. If I decide I want to click on running, I can see all of my running tasks. So there's 8 total. And that filter applies right here as well, so I can see what tasks are running. And for running tasks, I can cancel them one by one or select another action, or I can bulk select all of them and cancel them right away. That behavior applies, for example, to post. I can filter by post, and I can resume all of my post tasks at once. We can always see the filter here as well. You can see the donut chart in the post area, and what if I wanted to filter by last 24 hours? I can actually do that. I can filter by 24 hours, and I can see in the post there has been 17 tasks. So I'm filtering by post in 24 hours, and now I can perform whatever actions I want to do. So this top area is our dashboard, giving us more options to take action and solve our problems. And then if I want to know, for example, more about a specific one task, it takes me here. Not much has changed here. I think this UI works well, but what we focused on was the actual dashboard and how to filter what's important and what should I do. And I'll take questions from here.
I guess I wanted to say quickly that one reason why we're looking for feedback is that this dashboard setup we have here, we think is something that, one, we've seen in other applications, but it's something that we might be able to bring into other pages within Foreman, and it could be quite useful. So any first impressions on it would be great. The final scheduled card on the end, the 12 with the hour clock, we would love feedback on that and what you think that means. We've gotten some feedback already. I'm not going to give away what it is, so that way you have your own opinion, but we'd love to hear what you think that actually means, and we're looking to improve that. And then I think Teresa did a really nice job here on trying to bring out some of the high-level information to be more visually, give some visual hierarchy, because the previous page was just straight text. There were no icons for the results. It was just, I found it very hard to consume when I looked at it. There was nothing that immediately stood out. And here I think that does a much better job of communicating that. So nice work.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Teresa and Roxanne. Looking into the UI, we will stop here because I don't see any questions here. So yeah, that was our community demo number 58. Thank you everyone who have watched it, who were there. Thank you presenters for presenting the awesome work that you keep doing, and continue doing that. If you guys have any questions, you can go to the Foreman Freenode channel and ask us about what we're doing. See you at the next community demo. Take care. Bye bye.